Hello, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your Mercury in retrograde reading. Mercury in retrograde is the perfect time for us to kind of pause and reflect and evaluate where we presently are. So in this reading today, with these little cue cards that I have created for my new spread here, we're going to take a look at where you're at and what you need to do during Mercury retrograde in order to become aligned. So when the planet goes direct, you will be exactly where you need to be. Keep in mind that it is a collective general reading. So as the messages come through today, just take what fits and leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means that it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. With all of that said now, let's begin. Tapping into the Virgo collective now, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Let's begin with one oracle card. There we go. There's your card. For Mercury retrograde, we have vast vistas. Expand your horizons. And at the bottom of the deck, we have narrow pathway. Tread thoughtfully. Okay. Let's clarify this more, please, for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. We are clarifying the anchor. Where do you need to pause? The loop. What pattern are you repeating? The insight. What past is resurfacing? The filter. What boundary needs to be created? The pivot. How you can prepare for when Mercury goes direct. And the return. Who or what may return for the Virgo collective for Mercury in retrograde. Let's get one more shuffle. Thank you. The anchor, clarified by the Six of Swords. The loop, clarified by the Magician. The insight, clarified by the Six of Wands. The filter, clarified by the Two of Swords. The pivot, clarified by the Nine of Cups. And the return, clarified by the High Priestess. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, let's clarify this message. We're using the After Tarot deck. If you're not familiar with this deck, the images are slightly different. It does alter the meaning of the cards a bit, and we'll go through them as necessary in your reading today. So this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. We are clarifying the anchor, Six of Swords, the loop, the Magician, the insight, Six of Wands, the filter, Two of Swords, the pivot, Nine of Cups, the return, the High Priestess. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The anchor, Six of Swords, clarified by the Nine of Pentacles. The loop, the Magician, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. The insight, Six of Wands, clarified by the Lovers. The filter, Two of Swords, clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. The pivot, Nine of Cups, clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. And the return, the High Priestess, clarified by the King of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands. There's something here that you need to pause on in regards to your stability, Queen of Pentacles. And for some of you, that could be like your job, what you do for a living, or investments that you have, if you're like a retiree, or maybe you're saving for retirement. For others of you, that Six of Swords to the Queen of Pentacles, there's something here in regards to house and home. It possibly could be marriage or a long-term committed partnership. The loop, the pattern you keep repeating, is attempting here to manifest the Ace of Pentacles, trying to make what you're currently in what you want it to be. The pattern you're repeating is that it's not what you want it to be, but you keep praying and hoping and even putting your own effort into trying to make that into that, and it just hasn't been working for you. The insight, something here is transpiring during Mercury retrograde. This is the resurfacing of a situation here with an individual. It's forced to make you look at this. So you will have a choice here about whether or not you want to repeat the cycle or the pattern with whatever or whomever this is. The filter would be to block it. That would be the boundary, and to work on something else. The pivot here, how you can prepare to go direct, is to only make choices where your pentacle resource of what you're investing here, that could be your time, your love, your money, your commitment, etc., should be more geared towards your own personal happiness. as opposed to maybe investing it in a structure or a relationship or maybe even like a career path that's no longer serving your highest good, that you're struggling to maintain here. And the return here, if this is not taken care of, something you don't see coming will be occurring. Okay, let's go through this. Let's try to clarify this more for you. The anchor, where do you need to pause? The Six of Swords. Clarify that Six of Swords for me, please, for the Virgo collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Six of Swords is clarified by the Knight of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles, that's you, whether you are masculine or feminine. And the Five of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. Okay. Clarify that Queen of Pentacles. Who or what is the Queen of Pentacles? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Queen of Pentacles is clarified by the Magician. I knew it. That's what you keep trying to manifest. The Six of Cups and the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, Five of Cups. Okay. So, Virgo, you have a choice here, okay, during Mercury retrograde. Now, if you're not familiar with those dates, Mercury retrograde officially begins on June 29th. It will run until July 23rd. We are already in pre-shadow at the time of this reading because we entered pre-shadow on June 12th, and the post-shadow effect will take us to August 3rd. So between now when I'm doing the reading and when you'll see it, which probably will be looking at the thing, you'll probably see this on the 15th or the 16th. Between now and August 3rd, you will have the opportunity to revisit a situation, environment, or connection here in the past that you had been manifesting the best possible outcome for, but was increasingly difficult for you to achieve what you wanted. And I'll explain to you why I'm saying that in the cards here. In your deck, and all of the decks I use, the Six of Swords is depicted differently. But in your deck, I always see it as an option or a choice. And that's because we have a boat going this way, and we have another boat going this way. And at first glance, when I saw it was, you may have the opportunity to loop back around to whatever this Queen of Pentacles is signifying, the job, the business partner, the marital partner, a house, a home. You may be considering relocating, but then deciding to stay. You may be considering leaving this person or divorcing them, but then considering staying. So there's a person, place, or thing here. It happens to be the same thing you keep manifesting to be what you want it to be, the ideal job, the ideal spouse, the ideal living situation. And there's a possibility here, instead of you moving on from it, actually looping back around to it. And so the anchor where you need to pause is that. The Six of Swords was clarified by the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. There's a little ego here at play. Don't be offended. These readings are intended to help us grow and learn and expand. And at the end of the day, you have the divine gift of free will. You can do whatever you want to do. Obviously, you are a grown Virgo, but I just need to tell you what's here on the table. There's a little ego here at play that the feeling is I may lose whatever this is to something or someone else. And so the only reason I'll hold on to it would be out of ego. This would be like a Virgo who's in a long-term committed partnership, whether that's you're just living together or you've been dating for 9 years, or maybe you're married. And the realization here is that your person may be moving towards someone else. And although you have been manifesting for the relationship to work out and it hasn't been, and you are in the process of exiting, the news that they may be moving on to someone else may make you pause and want to return to them. But that would be coming from wounded ego or low vibrational Leo ego here with that Six of Wands to that Five of Cups. It could be the same thing with a job. You're planning on leaving a job, you're exploring new job options, but you hear that Marianne down the hall, who you don't particularly like, may be up for promotion and get your position if you leave. You may be inclined to stay for that reason. I'm just letting you know what's here. Or you're hell bent on leaving whomever or whatever this is, and there's a conversation here that you have with someone that they make you feel like you're a quitter for leaving the industry or leaving the profession or leaving the company or leaving the person. And it makes you feel like I have to prove that person wrong, or there's something like this here at play. So there's a little injury here to ego with completely moving on from whomever or whatever this is. So you will be given the opportunity to return. The Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Chariot. This will most likely happen during Cancer season, which we will be entering right around June 21st, something like that, June 21st, June 22nd, and that'll run until almost like July 21st. So you have like that 4-week window where what it is that you've been manifesting, you have the opportunity in the After Tarot deck, Six of Cups, to return to something or someone here in the past. And the Chariot indicates there is a great desire to return to this. Again, I don't think it's coming from the healthiest place for you, but let's keep clarifying. The Magician, this is the loop, and this isn't the first time that you either have moved on from this or have contemplated moving on from this. And while you were in it, I feel like you kept hoping, wishing, praying that it would be more solid or more stable or more financially rewarding or maybe more reciprocal between you and this person. Tell me about the Magician. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Magician is clarified by the Two of Cups. So whoever this person is, professional, platonic, or romantic. Again, the boss, the business partner, the friend, the family member, the community group, the job, the industry. Certainly could be a lover. So we have the Two of Cups. We have the Seven of Swords. And then the Ten of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. So there's manipulation here at play, and it's coming from you. Some of you are consciously doing it, and some of you are subconsciously doing it. Seven of Swords to the Magician is a highly manipulative energy. Now, the Magician has all the aces of tarot in their arsenal, and they're capable of creating whatever they want. However, when the Seven of Swords comes into play, it means the person is manipulating their skills or manipulating their tools or, manipulating their power, if you will, to achieve the desired outcome that they want. There's a feeling here that this is not exactly 100% of what you want, because if it was the ideal job or relationship or living situation, you wouldn't have been stuck in that loop of continually trying to hope, pray, and make it what you wanted it to be, but it never really was. So that's what I mean about the manipulation tactic. It's like you're sabotaging yourself because you're trying to stay in something or possibly here even return to something because you're hoping that it'll be something that it never really was. And you're shorting yourself out of possibly moving towards something else that would be what you want. You just can't see this yet. This isn't on the radar yet. The Ace of Pentacles. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. So again, it's like I was going to leave this blank, but either someone said something to me that made me feel like a quitter. So now I'm going to show them I'm not a quitter, and I'm going to stay in a very unhealthy dynamic or situation just to prove them wrong. Or you find out that that position that you've been wanting, again, in career and finance, love and romance, or something else, may be occupied by someone else. And with that wounded pride and ego, it's like, well, I'll show them. You're not going to take my guy. You're not going to take my girl. You're not going to take my job. It just keeps you stuck in a very unhealthy dynamic. Clarify that. Ace of Pentacles here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles is clarified by the Star, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, the Three of Wands. So this has been a loop here. If this message is resonating for you, you have returned to whatever this is several times already. And every single time you try to be very optimistic and heal it and come to it with a different set of eyes and an open heart and being more accepting and more forgiving, it continues to disappoint you. The Four of Cups in the After Tarot deck, the individual is dumping out the cup. It's like, why did I do this again? Why did I forgive them? Why haven't I left this job? Why haven't I found something else? This could even be like a very stressful client. Like if you're a business owner, sometimes Queen of Pentacles could be a business owner, whether you're masculine or feminine. And you might be just taking back the same crappy client or type of crappy client. And you're like, God, I did it again. Right. I keep saying this is going to be the one. This is the client and that I want to work with. And then it's like you're not vetting it properly. So some of you are not vetting this person properly, or you're overlooking some major red flags. And for others of you, there's some type of manipulation here at play where you want this just because you don't want someone else to have it. The insight. Something with this situation is resurfacing during Mercury retrograde, and you will have a choice. Lovers is the ultimate choice card about whether or not you're going to do this loop again or not. Six of Wands, that's that pride or ego here in that Knight of Wands. A wounded Knight of Wands to that Five of Cups, that's Leo energy, but it could be low vibrational Leo energy. Clarify the Six of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Six of Wands is clarified by the Seven of Cups, the World card, and the Devil. Bottom of the deck, the Chariot. Something here will transpire, either as you have decided to close this out, or maybe some of you have. It is resurfacing. The point of it resurfacing is to show you that when you engage with whomever, whatever that is, you are sabotaging yourself from having better in your life. See if we can get more on this. Tell me about the Lovers. So you end up giving this a try, and the same thing happens. The person steps out of the marriage. You know, Devil to the Six of Wands to that Knight of Wands. This could be someone who's a player. They might sell you a really good game, promise you that this time it will be different. Probably not the first time they promised you that. And then you return and you realize that you're still an option or a choice. So this is, if you were to return to this during Mercury retrograde, it would be a short-lived success here. Either you return back to that negative pattern or they do. There's definitely manipulation here at play. There's a toxic pattern here that's on a loop. And you keep returning to it, hoping that maybe this time it'll be different. The situation of our connection will be different this time. The Lovers. Tell me about the Lovers. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Lovers is clarified by the Ten of Wands. How many times are we going to do this? Nine of Cups and the World card. Bottom of the deck, Tower. You will have an opportunity to reconnect with whomever or whatever this is, or to stay at the job, or to stay in the relationship. When I say short-lived, it is short-lived. We're talking about 10 days max. 10 days max where it feels really good to be with this person again, or to stay in the apartment, or stay in the home, or the job, or return to a job. Whatever this is here for you, it is very short-lived satisfaction. It's coming together here out of ego. That's the best way that I could describe it. Now, you don't have to return to that, but the opportunity to either stay, I should say, you don't have to stay or return, but the opportunity to stay or return will be there. If this is not a situation, environment, or connection, it could be an addiction. It could be, I could be speaking to a Virgo, and we'll just use this as an example. Perhaps you have a gambling issue, and you have friends that keep inviting you to the casino. And every time you go to the casino with them, you convince yourself that I'm not going to gamble. I'm strong. I can sit right next to them while they're at the blackjack table or that slot machine, and I'm not going to bet and I'm not going to gamble. And then you go there and you lose your shirt. You lose money, and you're, stuck at the machine till 4 a.m. trying to recover your money. And it's like, crap, I did it again. And then a couple weeks go by and they ask you to go to the casino again. And you go, this time I'm stronger. And it happens again. So just using that as an example, and you can extrapolate that and apply it to your life how you see fit. This would be your friends, one more time during Mercury retrograde, asking you to go to the casino again. And if you go, that it's going to be very short-lived. The first 10 minutes you're winning, and then you lose your shirt. So we have 2 world cards here. It's like, you know better. You've learned. For me, the world cards are a completion. They're the equivalent of attending high school in the United States. I say that because the corners have the 4 fixed signs. So it's like, I've gone to school. I got the diploma. I learned everything I have to do, yet you keep returning to high school. When it comes to this one thing, you keep returning to high school. And I don't know anyone in 52 years who on graduation day says, I'll be back in the fall. But you have an inability to move on from this, or have had an inability to move on, or an inability to cut the cord here, or to have some healthy boundaries here, because there's something addictive for you. You're getting something out of it. you're getting something over on someone else. It's feeding your ego, which is at a low vibration. I mean, healthy ego is good, but this is not healthy ego. You keep returning because for, material reasons, like this is a spouse who cheats on you, but you stay because they're the breadwinner, or they provide you with the lifestyle that you're, accustomed to. You stay in a relationship because all your friends and family tell you that this person is no good for you, but you want to prove them right this time. No, this time she changed. No, this time he changed. So there's wounded pride and ego here at play on your part. What that is pertaining to will be different for all of you. Like I said, an addiction, a pattern, or an actual situation, environment, or connection. I know that during Mercury retrograde, you have a chance, or I should say an opportunity, to go back to high school. The filter here, the boundary is, I'm not. I've learned this lesson. Two of Swords, I'm blocking this out. I'm going to focus my effort, my attention, my pentacle resources in a different direction. Instead of, we'll use that casino analogy, instead of going to the casino, I'm going to work on cleaning the house. Instead of returning to this toxic relationship, I'm going to learn on, I'm going to spend my time learning how to play the guitar. I'm going to do something else that benefits me or feeds my soul, or is good for my overall general health. Two of Swords. Tell me about the Two of Swords. One more shuffle. Thank you. Two of Swords, clarified by Four of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Pentacles. So the block here is saying this would only feel good momentarily. Four of Wands. There would be a cause for celebration. I would feel victorious at the casino table, at the blackjack table. It would feel really good to go back to work or stay in that job. Again, if this is work related, it would feel really good to reconnect with this person or maybe be intimate with them again. But look how far we decrease. We go Four of Pentacles to the Two of Pentacles. It feels good for a moment, Four of Wands. Then the Four of Pentacles, like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm stuck in this again. And we decrease to the Two of Pentacles now. So the block here is to, when this invitation comes through or the opportunity comes through to stay or return, the filter here is to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find a different job or a different housing situation, or I'm going to move on and work on my healing. But I'm not going to go back to something that keeps me trapped in a loop. The Four of Pentacles is a loop. It's stability or comfortability or something that we're familiar with, but there's no growth in the Four of Pentacles. And that Two of Pentacles is a loop. You can actually see the infinity loop here on the card. So the block here is to not return to something that keeps you stuck in a loop just for momentary satisfaction or celebration in that Four of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. Let's get one more shuffle. Thank you. The Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Six of Pentacles, that Four of Wands, and the Sun. Bottom of the deck, Judgment. The filter here is to say no thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. In the After Tarot deck, the Six of Pentacles, the person's walking away, as opposed to being breadcrumbed or settling for less, staying or returning to a job that doesn't pay them well, staying or returning to the person who cheats on them or maybe has options. So it's deciding to walk away from that Four of Wands because it's a false sense of security. The house, the home, the relationship, the job, it's recognizing it's a false sense of security. And it's saying, I deserve better in the Sun card. I'm going to work on situations, environments, or connections that are healing to me, pleasing to me, expansive. Vast vistas are expansive in my life. Expand your horizons. I don't want to stay stuck in this small little experience, if you will, that I've completely grown out of. I'm speaking like you. So this is tread thoughtfully. Okay, narrow pathway, because once you re-enter this, you're going to be in it for a little bit. You're going to be in it for a little bit. Like leaving it again will be more difficult. I'll try to see why that is. But there's something here about like tread thoughtfully, because it's a narrow pathway. It's not going to be a lot of exits off of this. So you're going to get stuck in this for a little bit. So let's say, whether you're masculine or feminine, doesn't matter. Let's say this is a highly volatile relationship. You step out or they step out. Again, I'm not quite sure on a collective reading who is the toxic person here. But you decide, because I really wanted this to work, I'm going to re-enter it. And maybe you get pregnant, maybe they get pregnant. And now you're stuck, for lack of a better term. And I hate to say that about a baby, and please don't take it that way, but now it's a lot more difficult to disengage from this connection. Maybe you re-enter it and you feel so good that you end up buying a house or putting this person's name on your bank account. Now you have joint or shared resources. It just becomes a disentanglement is a lot more difficult. Maybe you stay or return to the job that you know is damn well toxic, but you don't want to leave, or you're returning because you don't want Marianne again. Sorry if your name's Marianne, just using that as an example. You don't want Marianne down the hall to get the job, and you get the job, and now something ends up happening, and there's a lawsuit, and somehow you're involved. Now it becomes a lot more difficult to leave a place. So something like that it will occur. I'm not the fear-mongering tarot reader. I just have to tell you, there's something here about treading thoughtfully, really thinking twice about re-entering, because, and I'm going to try to get you some cards on that specific message. It seems like it's a lot more difficult to disentangle yourself from it if you were to return. The pivot here is to focus on your happiness, your true happiness in the Nine of Cups. That's not true happiness. That's deception, manipulation, gaslighting, betrayal, betraying yourself, being betrayed by another. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The pivot is justice, moving towards connections that are balanced and healthy, professional, platonic, or romantic. Not that. Justice is Libra, and your neighboring sign of Libra is the house of marriage, partnerships, relationships, contracts, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. Justice, the Death card, and the Two of Wands, bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands. The pivot say, I'm not going back to the past. What I want is out there. The ideal situation, the ideal job, the ideal industry, the ideal friendship, the ideal romantic partnership. It's just not there. It doesn't mean I'll never have it. It's just not there. And that's the pivot. The pivot is changing the mindset, making that judgment call that it's just not there, and it's okay that it's not there. And I don't want to waste any more time fooling myself that it is there or that it can be there. And again, same thing if it's an addiction. It's saying I'm going to replace that addiction with something else that is healthier for me. That's not serving your highest good. Clarify that Seven of Pentacles, planting a seed in a new direction. One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Wands, that is the truth. Moving towards the new. Five of Cups is the new in this deck. I'll explain why in the Knight of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands, something else, another job that is exciting or creative or collaborative. Another relationship that is truly passionate. Okay, it's authentically passionate. Whatever that is for you, there's something new and better waiting for you. The Five of Cups in the After Tarot deck. This person is not crying over the 3 cups that are spilled. They understand that there was poison in those cups. And so they're now eyeing a new 2 of Cups. That's exactly what this person is looking at in the After Tarot deck. So they're looking at the new business partner, the new boss, the new romantic partner. Again, whatever that is, this is a replacement for it, and it's better. Because this replacement is not that. This was the Knight of Wands. Inconsistent, flighty, erratic, ego-driven, unhealthy. I stay for all the wrong reasons. I come and go, no consistency. It feels good in the moment, and then it's like a crash and burn afterwards. This is the most dependable knight in tarot, the Knight of Pentacles. This is long-term sustainability, long-term, good health practices, long-term financial security, long-term emotional contentment if it's a romantic partnership. This is the situation, environment, or connection that will always choose themselves over you. This is the situation, environment, or connection that will always choose you. Not choose themselves over you. Choose you. On the return, if we don't do anything here, this is who or what may return. Clarify the High Priestess. Because you have the divine gift of free will. you can go right back or stay. I don't know where you are on the Virgo timeline. Clarify the High Priestess. One more shuffle. Thank you. High Priestess is clarified by the Tower. It's going to crash and burn. I hate to be the reader to tell you that. The Chariot and the Five of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords, which tells me what precedes the Four of Swords is Three of Swords. There's heartbreak. There's disappointment. There's financial loss. There's emotion, feeling emotionally abandoned by this person. Staying at the job or going back to the job and losing money. And somewhere inside your gut, your intuition is trying to tell you that if we don't step away from this once and for all, it will be detrimental to us in some way. Health, emotions, finances. But that's what comes in. The Tower to the Chariot. There's that feel-good moment. There's that feel-good moment. Oh, it feels so good to be back with you. It feels so good to be here. It feels good to be back, and then it's a crash and burn. It's the sitting at the, again, I use the casino as a reference, sitting at that blackjack table, and on the first round, I don't know, you win $200, and you're like, yes, I'm back, baby. And then your next hand, you lose $1,000, and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that's what happens when we keep ourselves trapped or stuck in cycles that we need to move on from. Every time we re-enter them, the universe squeezes us. Come on, Virgo. I'm going to make this more uncomfortable than it was last time because I want you to move on. The universe wants you to make the choice to move on. But it will create tower after tower, and each tower will get worse until you're finally like, okay, uncle. I don't know if they have that saying where you are in the world, but growing up here we did. And it's like, okay, uncle, like I give up. Okay, I got it. I got the message. So this tower will be worse for you. I hate to be the one to tell you that. King of Swords. Could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that you're dealing with. It does not have to be. This could also be, if you stay or go back, something legal occurs that is to your detriment. Again, that lawsuit, the divorce, something like that. Because in the private readings that I used to do, and unfortunately don't have time anymore to do them, but this would often come up as like an attorney or an accountant, someone of like a white collar authority figure, if you will. Could be the law, justice, judge, magistrate, police. I just feel like this escalates. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The King of Swords is clarified by the Five of Swords. There you go. The arguing, the manipulation, Five of Wands, and Judgment. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups. This is meant to teach you that this is not where it's at. It will get worse next time around. I don't know why someone needs to hear that, but it's meant to push you towards a new beginning. This is meant to push you towards a new beginning. So next time around, it gets worse. The manipulation, the deception, the financial loss, again, whatever it is that you have been incurring here is just amplified. Again, the trumpet gets louder to try to get you to make a judgment call to say, okay, I'm not going to fight this anymore. I'm going to move on. So be very mindful of this when it returns, or the opportunity to stay or the opportunity to return presents itself. You should be thinking more expansively of your life instead of, staying small. This is staying small. Let's get you some oracle cards, some kippers, and then I want to look at the bottom of these cards, and actually put these in the wrong order, so I want to put them back. It was actually 10 of Cups, Strength, and the Fool card. So we'll look at them in a second, but let's get you some oracle cards. Can we get 3 oracle cards here, please, for Virgo, for Mercury in retrograde? Thank you. We have Patience, Circle. This is a circle. Safety. Bottom of the deck is Leap. So patience. Beautiful things take time. Let yourself grow stronger in the waiting. Some of you feel like, and only take it if it resonates, some of you feel like this is comfortable, or I have invested a lot of time here, and I don't have the patience or the time. I say that because we have an hourglass here on the photo. Like, I don't have the time to rebuild from this. But you would have had the time to rebuild from this. Like, you would have had more time had you not continued to stay in it for as long as you did, or return to it as many times as you did. Look, I'm your mercurial cousin of Gemini. I'm always going to shoot it straight to you, Virgo. So some of you stay because of sunk cost fallacy. Well, I have too much in this job or this career or this relationship or this is all I've ever known. And all you do is literally waste time. And some of you are of the belief, but if I just stay longer, it'll get better. It has proven itself to not be the case. Circle of care. 1, I do think that this is a circle. 2, grow with the support of love and compassion, connecting to the strength of others. Some of you need a better support system. Friends, family, online community, maybe a social group in town that you can join. Some of you please don't be offended at this, okay? Some of you don't really know what healthy connections are. You either had dysfunctional home life, and don't be offended by that. I did as well. And as we get older, we sometimes enter dysfunctional relationships, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. And there might be something here of like trauma bonding for some of you. So it might be beneficial to you to connect with people who are healed, who have fought the addiction, who have gotten a divorce, like empowerment groups. Again, whether online or in person, and maybe just surround yourself with some really good people, not people that are going to drag you back into the addiction or the cycle or a relationship where they step out on you. You deserve so much more than that, Virgo. And then we have safety. Feel protected and stable, grounded in security, no matter what life brings. Well, this boat is in stormy seas and is headed towards a lighthouse. You get to choose what you're going to do. Are you staying out in the storm or returning to the storm? Or are you finally going to find some safety in that lighthouse? I feel like the universe this is reminding me of the hermit in tarot that holds the lantern. It's like, I feel like the universe is trying to call you in another direction. If this goes calm, it's very short-lived, and then it's tumultuous again. I think it's time for you to get to safety. Bottom of the deck, leap. Take the leap of faith, okay? Leap forward, overcoming obstacles along the way. And right behind that, look at that forward movement. Move forward from the heart, guided by your inner compass towards the future. And then you have flying towards the future. So you have 3 cards here back to back. Again, trying to tell you to move on from whomever or whatever this is. We'll get you kippers. And like I said, we're going to take a look at those cards in a second. Can we get 6 kipper cards? We'll look at it, but we'll put it back. False person. We'll see if that wants to show itself. And it fell on top of that King of Swords, that Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone who's just very verbally combative, right? King of Swords to the 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands would be someone who's very verbally combative. It could be someone who's like a narcissist, or they manipulate words for you to stay. They convince you to go to the casino when you know you shouldn't, that type of character. So let's get you 2 cards here for the top row, the Anchor and the Loop. Imprisonment. This is a jail cell, okay? You're a beautiful bird stuck in a cage that you've outgrown. And you have an opportunity now to get shoved back into that cage. The Anchor is actually a jail cell. The Loop, the coffin card, came out on the side. You know you should close it. You know you should walk away. But something keeps bringing you back, thinking you're going to revive the corpse here. I'm going to speak it to you straight, Virgo, because this seems like a very important message to not say or return to something that has been detrimental to your growth and maybe your finances as well. Let's get 2 cards here for the insight and the filter. Mature woman came out on the side. Not very mature. I'm going to read that 2 different ways. Whoever you're dealing with is not very mature, whether they're masculine or feminine. There's also something about you should know better. You have experience with this. So if you were to go back and things are the same, or possibly here even worse, you really have no one to blame but yourself. You can't say they tricked you. You knew what you were doing because you had done it before. Concern. I would give considerable thought to returning to this. This man has his eyes closed in a chair. you know, chin in the hand. He's really contemplating this. And I would really, if this were my reading, I'm not sure I would go back. 2 cards here, one for the pivot and one for the return. High honor is the pivot. Main female sort of came out on the side. Bottom of the deck, pathway, journey, official person, and again, message of concern. Yeah, there's high honor. There's victory in moving on from this. The return, it's the same thing. It's a mature woman, you know, main female here. So, and I don't read body parts, not even in the Kipper cards. So it's still not a good outcome. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's still not making the right judgment call. It's staying stuck, you know, not going one way or another. We're stuck. Not going one way or another. We're stuck. Not going one way or another. We're stuck. All 3 of those cards came out sideways. So you have an opportunity to move in another direction. Pathway, journey, official person, right? This is like stepping into the role of the emperor or empress of your life and saying, I'm boarding that train, figuratively speaking, right? And I'm moving in another direction. I'm taking another path because I've already been down this road. Message of concern, privileged lady, distant horizons, mature man. What you were looking for there actually ends up entering your life. Another business partner, a better job, a better relationship, possibly even relocation if this is like a living situation that's toxic or unhealthy. 3 to 6 months, your life changes. 3 to 6 months, you meet another person. And yeah, would it be terrible that you're out of work for 3 months? Okay, don't quit your job then. But make it a point to find this job, to find this boss. This is the boss you want. This is the Knight of Pentacles boss. So even if your decision here is it's work and I can't immediately leave because I need the money, okay. But please look for this person. Make it a point to find this person because this person is energetically waiting for you. And so maybe you do have to stay there for another month or 2. But then when this opportunity comes in, move on it. Don't ignore it. Don't get complacent because, oh, now the job's been okay for a few weeks, so I'm not going to look for this other job. Like, that's how we get ourselves stuck. That's that short-term happiness. Under the deck, 4 swords. There's that King of Swords and the moon. This is no bueno. I don't know what this person is hiding. They're an air sign. I don't know. I mean, they're strong on the air sign, but there's something that this person hides. We're going long on the reading, but I want to try to figure this out for you. What is this person hiding from Virgo? What's hidden in the shadow of the moon for this person? One more shuffle. Thank you. The Sun, King of Cups, and the 5 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups. Someone or something else. So this is a friend who asks you to go to the casino knowing damn well it's going to cause havoc in your life, and they don't really care. This is a lover who always wants reconciliation, but they keep other people on the side. This is someone who traps you in a third party because they're never going to leave their spouse. This is the job who wants you to stay because it benefits them, but they always have their eye out on finding someone else to replace you. This person's always looking at the new. There's something else here. For some of you, this person is married elsewhere. Just only take that if it resonates. At the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Cups, the Strength card, and the Fool. The universe is so desperately trying to push you in another direction that is healthier for you. Knight of Cups, loving yourself enough in the After Tower deck. The Knight drinks the Ace of Cups to free yourself. 8 of Swords in the After Tower deck. We are freeing ourselves. We're moving on from, what are we moving on from? The devil. Whatever the toxic pattern, trait, experience, person, relationship, whatever this has been in the After Tarot deck, the people who are typically chained to one another or the devil are actually unchained and freed. So the universe is constantly trying to push you that in the interest of self-love and doing what is best for you, that you pivot and move in another direction other than this situation, environment, or connection. I want to get 3 cards about the trap that I heard before. What is that? Trap, returning. Something like it makes it more difficult to get out of it. One more shuffle. Thank you. Page of Swords. You get pregnant, they get pregnant. Something contractually here is done. The Hermit, that's you. And the Ace of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Eight of Pentacles. You get pregnant, they get pregnant. Things feel good for a while. Maybe they have children or you do, and one of you asks the other to like formally adopt their child. Now you're like legally responsible for a kid. It's not technically biologically yours. There's a big investment that they make and that you're tied to it. So this is the suffering marriage where the person is a repeat cheater and they convince you to take them back because this time we're going to move to Florida and everything will be wonderful there because I'll be away from all of these tempting people that lure me into bed with them while you're at work. Bullshit. They're going to be tempting people in Florida as well. So for some of you, this is then you're tied. Now you're relocated, moving you away from friends and family in a new environment, locked to some 30-year mortgage. So there's a big commitment that comes with returning. This is staying at the job or returning to the job, and then they make you sign some type of employment, no compete contract, and you're locked in for 5 years, and you're like, this is all I've ever done for my entire life. And now for me to leave, I can't even work in this industry anymore. They trap you. You know, it's the friend or family member who's trying to reconcile with you, and you're having financial issues, and they offer to buy you the car, co-sign the mortgage. There's an entrapment here, and it doesn't mean that you can't disentangle yourself from this person in the future. It's just going to make it a hell of a lot harder because now there's something here about family or structure, home or money that is making you more linked or tied to them. Be smart about this, Virgo. Okay, that is your Mercury and retrograde message. I'm going to shut that down right there. You do with it what you will, okay? If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, be smart, pause, and think this through. As always, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.